Hey guys, so today we're going to be reading Yandere SCP Foundation Listener up in here. I decided to read this first because before I did any more requests, because I think this has been waiting along a bit too long, you know what I'm saying? But don't worry, I will get some more requests soon enough, I promise you guys. And if it sounds a little different or anything like that, I doubt it, but if it does, it's because I'm kind of like in a different room, different sounds, blah 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 blah. But I doubt there is a difference. It's just I'm like in Texas right now because of an emergency, and yeah, it's just, it is what it is. But I am here, still ready to slay these videos up in here. Okay, that doesn't even make sense. But anyways, we is in chapter 3, Dr. Bright. Wine's POV. I sat up slowly, feeling my body ache from the hard bed I've been sleeping on. What time is it? I looked around, seeing Lena still sleeping. Is it still not time for breakfast? I looked around, seeing a door that wasn't the exit. I hummed slightly as I walked over to the door, opening it. I looked around, seeing that it was a bathroom. There's no bath/shower. I looked, seeing a toilet and a sink. Maybe I should go, I said, looking back into the main room as I closed the door and walked over to my bed. I looked over to see Lena as she shifted. She hummed as she sat up. Oh shit, she yelled, looking at me. God, do you get off of looking at people when they sleep? She yelled. I jumped slightly as I shook my head. No, I just saw you moving it, so I looked over, I said quickly. Oh, she said, simply looking at me. D-class, breakfast time, someone yelled as 2 trays were pushed through the slot. I walked over and grabbed the tray, seeing some cereal, fruit, milk, and bread. Man, I'm hungry. I started to eat as I looked down at my food. So, how's testing? Lena asked as I shrugged. I've been testing with a lot of dangerous things, I said. Like what? She asked. Like this statue that you need to look at so it doesn't snap your neck, then there's this plague doctor that can kill you with its touch, I said. Lena nodded. Oh yeah, I've cleaned that statue cage before. She said. Wait, how long have you been here? I asked as she shrugged. 3 weeks, she said simply. She's gonna be killed soon. So are you. I nodded. The door opened as we both turned our heads, seeing Dr. Bright with some guards. Wine, come with me, Dr. Bright said as I got up, walking over to him. Bye, I said, waving at Lena, not noticing how Dr. Bright glared. Right, time to go, Dr. Bright said as he began walking away as I followed close behind. We walked down the hallway. So, what's your relationship with D-class? Oh my gosh. 43,261. He asked. You mean Lena? I asked. Yes, that's what she calls herself, Dr. Bright said, adjusting his glasses. I mean, she's a friend, I guess. I muttered the last part. Dr. Bright made a slight humming noise as we came to a door. All right, now, here, he said, handing me a piece of paper. Okay, so this is the SCP, basically, I think he's 096, yeah, so this is a SCP that, cries a lot, but if you look at his face through, like, anything, like, online, physically, through a camera, live, anything, he will come and find you and attack you. Don't know where that pops up, anyway, but, yeah, this is basically what his thing is. I'm not gonna read all that, because that's just too much for me to read. That is just way too much for me to read. So we just not gonna read that, plain and simple. But I'm pretty sure 096 has been pretty popular alongside with the Plague Doctors, SCP-049. So I do excuse me. I do like SCP-096 though. He's like one of the ones I'm like, you poor thing, you poor soul. Anyway, so don't look at his face. Got it. I nodded, understanding the information as I handed Dr. Bright the paper. Good luck, he said as the door opened and as I walked in, seeing another door as the one behind me closed. So wait, hold on. Now that I think about it, Dr. Bright is obsessed with this girl. Yeah, he's just allowing her to just go into these things just like, okay, survive. Good luck. And then he literally tortures someone that was disrespectful. No comprendo. I don't understand that. That just makes no sense. Anyway, Where we at again? D class, we are now opening the second door, a voice said over the intercom as the door opened. I closed my eyes as my ears were filled with soft sobs and tears. Hello? I said softly, walking forward, not liking the feeling of complete darkness, only feeling the pressure of my feet moving forward. I stopped as I heard the sobs and cries getting louder. Should probably not call out again. I moved to the right, using my foot to feel around, hearing the crying soften as my foot hit the wall with a slight tap. I placed my hand on the wall as I moved it along, feeling my way as the cries got a little louder. Maybe I should just stop until they let me out. I walked along the wall as I finally hit the other wall. I stopped as I turned to my left as I heard more cries of anguish. Why are they crying? I feel like I should comfort them. I walked faster as the crying got louder. I stopped at the foot of the curled up person as they sobbed into their hands. Are you okay? I said softly as I bent down so I was in the same position as the curled up person. I reached out my hand, feeling the cold, hard skin that stretched over a bony body. Can you not talk? I said, feeling the person's body move slightly as I moved my hand over what I now knew was an arm. Bruh, if I felt like, oh my goodness, I'd be so terrified. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to comfort, but that sounds terrifying. Anyway, I moved my hand over the body, making it to the shoulder as another choke sob came from the person. Are they hurt? I moved my hand to their face as I cupped their cheeks. It's okay, I said calmly as they whimpered. I moved the both of us into a hugging position as the person calmed with me, rubbing their heads, noticing no hair. With me rubbing their head, noticing no hair. It's okay, you don't have to be afraid. The person hugged me tight, not wanting to let go. I hummed slightly as the person seemed to calm more. D-class, please walk to the door and wait. A voice came through the intercom as I let go of the person. They didn't let go as I struggled against their grip. Let go, I muttered, only to get a grumble in response. I'll come back, I promise you that, I said as the group grip loosened. I rubbed their head as they finally let go. Thank God. I walked towards the door, not using anything to find my way. What did I just say? Anyway, I ran right into the wall, hitting my nose as the impact made a slight dong. Ow. I whimpered to myself as the door opened with me walking forward. That really hurt. I rubbed my red nose as I opened my eyes, deeming it safe with the door closing behind me. I looked around the room, seeing the same white-looking hospital room I was in a few minutes ago. My eyes hurt. I felt some tears prick my eyes as I rubbed them. The front door opened as I looked up, seeing Dr. Bright walking in with other doctors and guards following behind him. Looks like you lived, he said, smiling. Yes, I said, uncertain, as his eyes stared right through me. I felt my body shiver slightly from the thick atmosphere. Time to go to the next test, Dr. Bright said as he began to walk as I followed close behind. You guys don't need to follow. I think I can handle her, Dr. Bright said to the other scientists and guards. The scientists and guards tried to protest. Dr. Bright, that's not a part of the... Dr. Bright stopped them. Don't worry, she won't do anything, he said, not giving them any chance to respond as we both walked out of the room. I walked close behind as we made our way down the hallway. Dr. Bright, may I ask, why did you do that? I asked as he hummed. Didn't I tell you just to call me Bright instead of Dr. Bright? He said, looking over at me from his shoulder. Oh, sorry, I don't particularly know you that well, so I don't really feel comfortable to call you that. It's literally just without the doctor, I muttered shyly. Dr. Bright smiled slightly. Well, what do you want to know about me? He asked. Why are you wearing a necklace? I asked as he stopped walking and looked at me. Was that wrong to ask? Was that the wrong thing to ask? It's SCP-963, called Immortality. I got killed while holding it, so now my soul is attached to the amulet. When someone wears this amulet, I take over their body. The sad thing is that when someone wears the amulet, then takes it off, they're pretty much brain dead. Boo-hoo, he said, smiling. I stared at him as tears began to spill from my eyes. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. Girl, that is not the sad. A matter of fact, it's the saddest thing I've ever heard. Living forever watching everyone you love rot away in front of you. That just feels so wrong. I did not even get that out of there, but you know what? You go, girl. Ah, sorry, that's just horrible, I muttered, wiping my tears as Dr. Bright looked at me in disbelief. Isn't it time to get to the testing? I muttered as Dr. Bright's face suddenly went red. He turned away from me as he rubbed his face. Yeah, let's go, he muttered as we started to walk again. Man, did I make him upset by crying? Ugh, I feel like such an idiot. You are one. Here we are, Dr. Bright said, making no eye contact. Oh, read this, he muttered, handing me a piece of paper as I looked at it. Okay, so this is SCP 682. This one is he's pretty much like immortal, very aggressive, and kind of like a rotting corpse basically. And it's kind of like there's nothing you can do to stop this creature. It's a reptile type of thing. It's very, very aggressive. And it's just very strong. It's like a very strong SCP, cannot be killed, and blah, 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 blah. I was about to, like, accidentally compare it to another SCP that's a whole alligator that lives in acid, and, well, has to live in acid, and blah, 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 blah. But no, that's not it. This is a different one, so. Yeah, this is a very dangerous SCP, and they try to get it killed by SCP-096, which is the crying guy, but I think that failed. And they also tried to do it with some other SCPs, but obviously that shit failed. Thing is still alive. Yeah, I've heard they tried to do some other things with this SCP, but it just did not work at all. So I don't know. What have you guys heard of this SCP being against who? Because I don't know. Even I think it was between SCP-049, but I don't even know. Anyway, I felt a tiny pit in my stomach. This thing must be really dangerous and it needs to be killed immediately. May I ask why I'm going in there? I asked, looking at Dr. Bright as he smirked. It's feeding time, he said as the color drained from my face. Dr. Bright began to laugh as I looked at him. What? I was caught off when Dr. Bright looked at me smiling. Oh, sorry, I just felt like messing with you, he said, smirking. The real reason you're here is to check the container for any damage or leaks, he said. I nodded while smiling. Alright, I got it. Yeah, I'm just totally just gonna go in there with a creature that is literally cannot be killed by certain SCPs. You think my ass is gonna step in that fucking containment room? Oh, hell no. You're gonna have to kill me and my dead body. You're gonna have to drag my ass in there. Cause, I would never. Nope. Nope. I'm good. I'm fresh out that box. That good. I would not go in there. Anyway, I said as he walked over to this big door. You'll go in, look around, then come out. Nothing more, nothing less. Stay here, Dr. Bright said as he walked away. Got what I should do. This thing's probably gonna kill me. I felt the pit in my stomach again. A loud scraping metal sound rang out as I turned my head to see the door, seeing it open. Oh, motherfucker, why the hell is this door so big? I walked forward as I stood in the room, seeing another door, like SCP-096. Alright, are you ready, YN? Oh, like I'm ready to face like a deadly creature that has not been beaten by some other dangerous SCPs. Like, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready to face the earth right now. Dr. Bright's voice said over the intercom as I nodded. Probably, I said under my breath. Let the fear in for 5 seconds, then let it all out, and make sure it doesn't come back. It's gonna go like, it's gonna be like a whole like receipt. It's gonna, like a CBS receipt. It's gonna be foreverly long. I look up, seeing the door open, revealing a giant fuck you lizard. A giant fuck you lizard? What the fuck? That don't even make sense, but okay. I breathe in as I walk forward as the lizard looked towards me. Just calm down. Don't judge a book by its cover. Bro, I'm definitely judging. I'm judging. bro. One step, I'm judging. One step towards me, I'm judging. It's ridiculous. Okay. I walked forward, seeing the lizard get up. Hi, I'm just here to look around, totally not terrified right now. I said as I looked over the cage for any damage. Distasteful human. A deep voice came from the lizard as he walked over to me. I looked at him as he opened his jaws, hovering over me, slowly closing them. May I ask your name? I blurted out. He's probably gonna kill me by now. He stopped moving. My name? He asked as he backs away, closing his jaw. I looked at him and nodded. Yeah, I want to know your name. I said, the Foundation just calls me SCP 682. Yeah, like I didn't read that earlier. He says I looked at him, but what do you want to be called? I asked as he looked at me. Why does that matter? He asked. Well, it's because it's good to know what you want, I muttered as I blushed. Wow, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Like, as I read this, it just gets more and more ridiculous. Okay, yay. SCP-682 moved his muzzle towards me. Just call me SCP-682. It's simple. No, it's not, bro. He muttered as I nodded. Nice to meet you, SCP-682. I'm Ryan Ellen, but just call me Ryan. I said, smiling at him. You're a weird human. He muttered, I know, we are weird. As he brought his muzzle close to my face, as I placed one of my hands on his face, I quickly retracted my hand, feeling my skin burn. Why is it burning? Ow. I muttered as I looked at him as he backed away from me, startled. My apologies. I seemed to have forgotten that I was covered in acid. He said matter-of-factly, acid? I said, disbelief. Yes, these prosthetic researchers seem to think that they can contain me by placing me in acid. So this is... No, it's not. It is? I'm not sure. I don't remember. He said in a snarky tone. I smiled. Seemed like you had a hard life. I said, laughing as he seemed to be amused. D-Class, please step away from SCP-682. A new voice said over the intercom as I looked around, trying to find where they were viewing from. Alright, I said, backing away. I was stopped by a tail wrapped around my waist. All the acid seems to have been eating all it can take. SCP-682 muttered as it wrapped its body around me in a protective motion. Repeat, D-Class, please move away from SCP-682 before we have to take action. The voice said again, I can't move. Duh. SCP-682 is holding me still, I yelled as I heard a slight grunt of protest from SCP-682. I tried moving only to get a growl in return. Please, SCP-682, let go. I muttered as I tried moving again. I feel like I can't breathe. They'll hurt you. This Foundation cannot be trusted. They use you as a fodder. Fodder? They make you do go to these dangerous places, make you talk to these dangerous things. They only use you. They don't give anything back. I bet they told you that you came in here to look for cracks in my cage. He paused. This isn't my cage. They only wanted you here so I could feed. Ryan. SCP-682 said. I know what he's saying is true. I know that, but I can't just abandon my morals. Actually, yes, you can. I was wrapped out of my thoughts as the door opened, seeing guards enter. I looked at them as they pointed their guns at us. I don't need your protection, SCP-682. I whispered, yelled at him as I saw Dr. Bright walk into the containment cell, looking at me with a worried expression. Please don't hurt anyone. I muttered in defeat, holding onto... Wait, I thought we couldn't hold on to him. He was covered in acid. My brain is malfunctioning right now. Onto SCP-682's fur. You're a strange human. Yeah, he muttered. The guards pointed their gun at us. If you don't let D-Class go, we'll have to denanonate? What the heck is denanonate? Denanonate. The identification collar around her neck. A guard yelled, They can do that? Why would anyone make something like that? SCP-682 growled, letting me go. I quickly ran over to the guards. D-Class, please put your hand up. They said as I quickly did as ordered. Please walk over to Dr. Bright, they said, as I slowly nodded, as I nodded, slowly walking over to Dr. Bright. Finally, he let go of me. I finally feel like I can breathe. I walk up to Dr. Bright as he grabbed my hand, pulling me out of the room. I looked at the back of him as he pulled me along. Where are we going? I muttered, but he didn't say anything. Is he angry that SCP-682 didn't kill me? He's just mad he didn't get that pussy. Just kidding. I looked down as I looked around to notice I was in the D-Class housing. May I ask why are we here? I asked softly. No, you may not, he said firmly as he dragged me to my room. Dr. Bright ripped the identification card from his neck, pressing it against the door scanner, making the door open as he pushed me inside, making me stumble a little. I sighed. He really hates me now. I was snapped out of my thoughts hearing the door close. He left. I turned around, seeing Dr. Bright standing there while looking at the door scanner as he pulled his identification card back to his lanyard. I felt a shiver run up my spine as he looked at me with cold eyes. Why is he looking at me like that? I took a few steps back, seeing him walk forward. You are a complete idiot, he said, taking more steps as I did the same. Why did you do something so stupid as to listen to that thing? He yelled, taking more steps as I pressed my back against the wall. I closed my eyes as I began to shake, feeling my body grow weak. Don't cry, don't you dare cry. I felt tears begin to stream down my cheeks. Why did... Dr. Bright said, stopping mid-sentence. He's gonna hit me. I heard his footsteps walk up to me. I closed my eyes tight. If you're gonna hit me, just hit me, I muttered as I felt Dr. Bright rub his thumb under my eye, wiping my tears. I'm not gonna hurt you, he muttered as he pulled me into a hug. I felt my face redden as I opened my eyes. Dr. Bright tightening his grip as he nuzzled his face into my shoulder. I just was worried and got a little angry, he muttered into my shoulder as I felt goosebumps spreading all over my body. It's all right, I said, pressing my face into his shoulder as I felt my face redden more. He smells like expensive cologne. Dr. Bright sighed as he let go of me. I looked at him with my red face as he smiled. Sorry, I just don't like seeing you cry, he muttered softly as I looked at him. Me? I muttered softly as he covered my mouth. I mean people. He quickly said, all right, I muttered, blushing. Well, get some sleep, he said, walking out of my cell as I waved, smiling. Dr. Bright's POV. I walked out of the room. I need to wipe the cameras. I can't let the Foundation know about me and YN's relationship. I sighed as I walked down the hallway. Who's working the cameras today? Maybe Jason? Or, Johnson? No, it's Wednesday, so that means Brown's on duty. Good. He'll be asleep. Good thing he's lazy. I walked over to the camera room as I opened the door slowly and quietly, seeing Brown asleep on his chair. I smirked as I walked into the room, going over the control panel. Just need to find her camera. I looked at all the cameras for the D-Class, seeing Ryan eating her dinner with D-Class 43,271, and delete. I muttered, going back in the footage and deleting the part whenever I was in the room. I smiled as I turned around and began to walk out of the room, only to be stopped as the door opened to see Dr. Glass holding a box. Oh, Dr. Glass looks very, very petite, very, very, very simpy material. Guys, I think we got some simpy material up in here. Dr. Bright, he said, surprised as I looked at him. Shit. Oh, hi, Dr. Glass. What are you doing here? I said as he smiled. Oh, I got caught in the hallway by one of the doctors. They asked me to take some stuff down to Brown for them seeing my English. To take some stuff to Brown for them, seeing how I was finished with all my work. He paused, seeming to think. What are you doing here? He asked. I smiled, rubbing the back of my neck. Oh, well. I stopped. Shit, what do I tell him? I can't say that I just deleted footage. I suddenly got an idea. I was here looking at a D class I was worried about. I said as he looked at me strangely. You worrying about a D class? That's pretty strange. He chuckled. Well, I mean, she has encountered a lot of dangerous SCPs, and I'm worried about her mental health. I said as he nodded, walking over to me. Dr. Glass smiled as he put down his box on the table. May I know their name? He asked as I looked at him. YNLN identification number is 43,770. I said as he nodded. Well, I hope she's fine. Now I have to go, but it was good seeing you, he said as I nodded. Nice seeing you too, I said, a little suspicious as he walked out of the room. What just happened? Whatever, I need to go. I sighed and walked out of the room and walked down the hallway. Dr. Bright just made a big mistake. I wonder what happened next. Ooh. He did make a humongous mistake. Uh-oh. I mean, why would you tell a doctor, who your favorite D class is? Most likely they're going to send it to the worst area possible. Or in my imagination they would. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Sadly, I was only able to read chapter 1 because I have to read very, very quietly. And 2, because these are insanely long chapters and they can be, these are insanely long. I think this is already past 20 minutes, and I usually do 30-40 minutes, but I'm gonna do a little shorter this time because I'm currently in a place where I can't read a lot, if that makes sense. So I apologize, but we did get a lot out of this. This is probably the first time in forever I only read 1 chapter. It's kind of crazy, right? crazy girl. Anyways, let me know what you guys think is gonna happen next. What do you think is gonna happen to Dr. Bright? Do you think anything bad will happen to us? Do you think Dr. Glass will be another obsessive person like Dr. Bright? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. I have no idea. I think that will be the case, or either that or Dr. Glass will start being a little bit sus and start watching him constantly over the cameras or something like that. Because, that ain't normal. He's a little sus. He thinks Dr. Bright's a little sus and just watches him from a distance and gets him in trouble or something like that. That's what I'm thinking might happen. Who knows? Or to the point where the other doctor, I forgot his name. The other one gets involved with this. The one that was I don't remember his name. Apologies. But anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more amazing videos, guys. Honestly, it's getting a little spicy, little good. Anywho, y'all got any more requests or anything like that? Let me know in the comments down below. Your girl sadly got to go. Hopefully I don't have a more quieter environment to read more in Texas. Hopefully, most likely I will later on, because yeah. Anyways, your girl's gotta go. Bye.